Jojo Davis says, what up, Coach Josh? It's Jojo out of Fort Worth. What's up, fam? How to focus on my purpose and my calling with God instead of money. Well, the Bible talks about that you can't serve God or money. And what that means is you cannot serve or live life as one or the other or both together as your ultimate source. Money fluctuates. Money changes every day, right? But God never changes. No matter what happens with the economy, I know for a fact that I'm connected to heaven's economy, that he can use anyone to ensure that I'm well and stable, right? And so what you do is you have to understand who gave you the purpose and who gave you the calling. Because if God gave you the calling, then you have to depend on him for him to be able to call in the provisions for his vision. If you look at the word provision, there's two words, pro and then vision. Whoever's vision it is responsible for providing for that vision. So if it's your vision, you're going to feel the weight of providing for that vision. But when you begin to look at that vision that as a vision sent by God, then when you are in a place where you can no longer fund, but you have been proven a good steward, only thing you can do is stand and see the salvation of God to be able to support his vision, right? So how do you focus on your purpose and calling? Knowing who called you and knowing who gave you purpose, and then build that partnership with him and being led by him and being purposeful every day. In order for us to capitalize on purpose, capital P, we got to be purposeful daily. And that's what is God's purpose for me as a man? What is God's will for me as in interaction with the opposite sex? What is God's will for me with my money? What's God's will for me with my time? What's God's will for me with my mind? And the more you begin to practice those different things, the more sensitive you'll become in sensing the will of God and understanding that there are certain limits where you can only do but so much. That's why if it's a vision or a purpose that you feel like you can manage without God, then it's not a vision from God. What I do on a day-to-day basis, I can't do in my own effort. I can't provide for it in my own effort. God's dream for me is so huge that I have to be dependent on him for him to see it through. So how to focus on your purpose and calling? Number one, you got to fellowship with God. You got to fellowship with him daily, fundamentally, and become fundamentally sound. In your fellowship, you just can't just be going with the kicks and giggles, right? You just can't be going with I read my devotion. No, we got to turn fellowship into fundamentals. That as I fellowship with God, I'm also learning the proper fundamentals when it comes to the dealings and purpose, etc. Next, you got to practice being obedient. How can we set ourselves up to be obedient to God's rhema word if we're not obedient to God's written word? Because if we don't fellowship and welcome certain fundamentals in life, we're going to lose focus. Also, if we're not obedient and understand the opposition, then we're going to lose our vision. So you got to make sure that you close all open doors to the devil to ensure that he don't come in with the shovel, burying you in the process. Next, you got to ask yourself, do I have the character of God? See, the one thing I tell kids and I tell people all the time, that we are our greatest project. Our goal is to make sure that we every day develop the character of God. And when we begin to develop his character, we'll begin to see the difference between counterfeits and counterparts. Next thing you got to do, you got to begin to understand you a little bit better. So you got to understand, hey, am I where I need to be? If you know there's still stuff underneath you that shouldn't be underneath you, that's keeping you from undergoing certain things and being such, you got to get rid of it. And last but not least, you got to learn how to stay steady emotionally, steady mentally. Because what you don't want to happen is to allow the noise to keep you from being poised. I just spell focus. Number one, in order to maintain your focus on your purpose and not really get focused on money, fellowship with God. Because the more you understand fellowship with him, you'll understand how he funds things. Also in your fellowship, you got to develop the fundamentals, spiritual disciplines to help you stay focused and not be swayed by greed. You got to also close all open doors to demonic influences in your mind, through your ears and through your eyes, trying to keep you off the line. You got to also see, okay, do I match God in character, and aggressively pursue that transformation through the renewing of your mind. Then you got to get rid of the stuff that's underneath the surface of your heart that's keeping you from playing the part that God wants you to play. And last but not least, you got to stay steady in him, emotionally and mentally, so that you don't find yourself all over the place when things start shaking itself in this world.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to engage more content, make sure you check out the videos over here. If you want to learn more about the books that I've written or the cards that I've created or ways that you can support and engage with what I do online, make sure you check out the links in the description box below. And if you've been watching this far, you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell, and make sure you leave a comment. I would love to read it and would love to engage and be your coach online. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.